Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today for a Clover webinar about the table service software. My name is Sarah and welcome. So today we're going to be doing a high-level view of the Clover Dining app on the Clover system. Today we're going to walk through how to take an order on the Clover Dining and a few other features that you can use in your day-to-day table restaurant services. So before we get started, the call is monitored and recorded. You will receive a link to the recording around 48 hours after the webinar has been completed. If you have any questions, feel free to use the Zoom Q&A. We'll be happy to get those questions answered at the end of this webinar. And if you're in need of rates, fees, and pricing, please reach out to your sales consultant for more information. As far as third-party applications, feel free to visit clover.com/appmarket for more. And if you are in need of training or support on your Clover devices, please use your 24/7 Clover support number, which can be found by reaching out to your relationship manager or visiting your home screen on your Clover device. So let's go ahead and hop over to the Clover station. So for those of us that are returning, the Clover Dining app is going to be a really user-friendly system that you can set up on your Clover station or Clover Mini. If you have a Clover Flex, it does communicate with the Flex as well once it's set up on one of those other two devices. You can also build the floor plan from your computer. The first thing we do, though, to access our Clover is going to be putting in our employee passcode. Now, depending on the user of the system, it will either bring up the previous screen, or if you're logging in for the first time, you might see your app home screen instead. Now, with the apps, you do have your different apps on the home screen that are part of the software pretty much. So these are going to be pre-installed on the Clover. So your Clover system should come with your employees and your inventory and rewards, all of these tools ready to go on the Clover. Now, these tools can be used to set up and arrange different things like permissions for employees. You can look at reports, you can set up your menu using inventory, and just allow you to easily change stuff as needed. Now, since we're logged in as an admin, we are going to have access to all of the apps for today's demo. Now, once someone is set up on a Clover system, Clover Dining is really easy to navigate. So once you're in your Clover Dining app for the first time, you will have an automated walkthrough built into the Clover unit. So up in the left corner here, we do have a Clover Dining settings view, and you can go into your edit floor plan. If you want to take a tour of the Clover Dining app, again, this should be automatic if you're using it for the first time, but if you accidentally close it out, you can also tap on Take Tour, where you can then navigate through the tour just to see exactly how to set up your tables and build your different layouts. There's also a tour on how to take an order as well, just as a refresher. Now we're going to go through setting up a table. So we're going to tap on Edit Floor Plan. To do so, we just tap on the section that we want to edit. If we are new to the system, we're going to add a section. So we could add and name our section and then add a table to it. If we already have a layout and we want to adjust it, we can also interact with the existing tables or the existing sections. As far as these sections, you can tap on tables to delete them, clone them, or edit them. You can also do the same with your sections at the top. So if you want to move them or add a new one or relocate it to the priority spot here, that can be done. So once you tap on a table, if you want to stretch and resize the table, you can do so by using the pull tab here in the right corner. If you select clone, it will allow you to clone the table and duplicate it. So with that, it will be the same shape and size as the other tables in that section. If you edit it, you can add a name, a number, or like an employee name to it if you wanted to create a section. And then we have our different table types as far as these shapes and amount of seats will go. So once those are established and you leave the dining setup mode, you can then tap on a section that you want to ring an order under. Clover Dining comes with a non-table section as well for takeaway and bar that has a fast filter search. And there's no limit to how many tickets and tabs you can have open in here in case you did want to manage a busy bar or restaurant with non-ticket orders. Same with to go, which is what I've renamed mine with. Instead of tapping on a table to start an order, you will have this plus sign in the right corner. So just like adding a new table, this one means add a new order though. Now let's go back to our main dining room. We're going to tap on table 11 and we're going to open up that table. Clover Dining does have a feature where, depending on the size of the party, you can have an automatic service charge applied to the order. If you want to set this up, you actually do this by tapping on the home button, going to your setup app, and within this setup screen, you're going to find your additional charges tab. If your service charges are turned off, you're going to check them on, and then you would check on this automatic option here as well. You'll select the minimum guest count, and I have mine set to 6, so a party of 6 or higher, an automatic gratuity applies. And you also can change the percentage and you can change the name. So if I wanted this to say gratuity instead of service charge, I can update that. There are going to be other things you can change in here, like setting up your taxes and fees and enabling yourself for tips and choosing if they're done digitally or on paper. With dining, each device can have its own setting for this, but tips and taxes are always going to be a very important setup step, something that your trainers will do live with you when you reach out to them during your first time setup. Now let's go ahead and lower the amount of guests, which I just did by tapping on the guest count in the upper left corner. Whole table is where we can put our shared items. So if we wanted to do appetizers up here, we can go ahead and add those to our whole table spot. I could fire them to the kitchen and add more items later if they wanted to go ahead and order. Each guest can be tapped on as well, and you can tap on the guest and tap on these categories in the middle to ring up items under their seat. So we'll do some soft drinks and maybe a sweet tea for the guest, and they'll order food in a second. So we will have a fire button where mine says save. Your live account can be set up with printers or kitchen displays. You can integrate and you can send items off to the kitchen. If there's bar drinks or food items that you don't want to go to that kitchen printer, that's something that can be set up in your inventory. So whenever the guests are ready to place their order, a waiter can go back and just tap on their table again to reopen it. It should show what has and hasn't printed. I'm just keeping in mind we're on a demo account, so some of my settings won't appear like a live account. But there are things like printed labels to show what has and hasn't sent. Once they order the items, as far as toppings and modifiers go, you can have additional screens appear with these items. So in this case, we'll do the mushrooms on the side. If they want to order another item, let's say with temperatures and sides, like this steak entree, there will be more modifiers that are associated with this plate. So these are going to be different than the empanada modifiers. So in this case, we have to pick our steak temperature. We can also see it will change the color of this status here. So I have a pick one set up so employees don't forget to ring this up to the kitchen. This is called a forced modifier. It saves a lot of room for error and also keeps things consistent with the employee orders. And then for sides, they can ring up to 2 at no additional cost. There is a no side button, but again, at least the kitchen can see that they selected no side instead of not ringing something in or forgetting. Also, you can increase the quantity. If they want to just double order fries, I could do that by tapping on the plus sign there, or I can mix and match if they want fries and broccoli. Also, there is a blank field at the bottom here. This is your custom modifier field. So special requests and notes go here. I always use the example of an allergy because it's a very on the spot request that not every restaurant may have a button ready to go for. So you can set up modifier buttons for stuff like that if you'd like. But in this case, I didn't have one on the screen. So I'll just key in that note with Clover's keypad on the screen. Now with guest 3, if they order something and I'm looking through the categories and not quite sure which one it is under, I can also search the menu. You can use a few letters of a menu item and filter it down. In Clover, you can also search labels. You can search numbers and product codes as well to filter down your menu. So again, when building your menu with your trainers, there's different things you can set up in the system to help you use these filters. In this case, I just searched the plate name, just a few letters of it that I had off the top of my head. And I can see here that once I select those entrees from there, it will apply it to the seat highlighted. And Clover will also let you do different pricing methods. With a lot of our full service restaurants, they tend to gravitate towards the fixed prices, but we do have unit pricing as well for like market items and so on. So you may see sometimes someone will be using Clover and they may be able to put in like a weight or even use a scale or barcode scanner with the system. So you can also utilize those payment methods for an item as well. Now from here, the item can be coursed out. Clover does have a coursing feature. So once your printers or displays are set up at your restaurant, items, when they're built in the inventory, can have labels attached to them. So this is something just done during setup, but I'm actually going to take a second to go to the home screen. And in the Clover system, if you go to your inventory app, under labels, you can create different printer labels. So we can see here I've got bar, kitchen, sushi. So lots of tools that are common at a restaurant as far as like different areas where hot and cold items might go. So I can see I've got my sushi items going to a sushi printer, and here is a list of them if I click on this group. If I go back to the kitchen one, we can see all of those kitchen items as well that would fire there. So the benefit of doing this is, again, to make sure when we fire the kitchen ticket, we don't have our bar drinks sending to that kitchen printer or that sushi printer and vice versa. Just keeps things organized and makes those tickets more legible for the back of the house. So to set up a kitchen printer label, I felt like we could go through that today. We're going to tap the plus sign in inventory first. We're going to create a new label. Let's go ahead and create a salad printer. So here we have our label now called salad. If we have menu items, we're going to tap the edit pencil in here, and then we're just going to go through and find our salads. So you can do this from your computer in bulk, but like if I just set up one new salad at the restaurant, then this would be the fastest way to do it from the device. But again, if you are doing it from your computer, then we always encourage just doing like on a spreadsheet or bulk selecting and then attaching the label that way. So your computer will have a little checkbox here. You can check off all the salads and search them, and then you can use a drop down to attach the label. So it's very fast from the back of the office. So with that, once I have these salads connected, so we have 3 cold items, and we can go back and see we've got that group here. So that's all it takes to create a label. Now, if we go to the home screen, we do have to connect it to a printer. So Clover, when you speak with your sales consultant or the agent you're working with, they will discuss your kitchen printer options, or if you're integrating a display, there will be an associate to help set up that display. But in your Clover printer screen, we can see right now we have no label printers, which are sticky labels. So this is actually different. We're going to focus on the order printer here. So when you tap on these printers, it shows here what items fire to it. So any of these checkboxes are telling me that this printer prints bar drinks, sushi items, and kitchen. In this case, if it was just one printer and I just want to use it for salad, all I have to do is check out that new label I created. And then I hit save. And now these items should just fire automatically once you're in dining. So I know that was a bit more of a detailed walkthrough than we usually do, but I get a lot of questions about it, so I just wanted to share that with everybody. So let's go back to table 11. And, if we go ahead and look up that antipasta, so we can see this item on the order. And if I were to send that to the kitchen, again, it would just print at its respective printer. And now going back to the printers app, I did just want to highlight that you can add expo printers as well. So if you wanted to use one of your printers as like an expo, you can have that set up as well where it gets like the whole order, just in case there's someone at the window that is going to be pulling all these items and putting them on a tray together. So now that we're back at our table, let's focus on more of the server interaction and less of the setup. So from here, the server interaction, if they want to edit or delete something off the order, you can set employees up to have permissions or access to those options. For example, maybe I didn't mean to ring this salad up, so I can tap on that item and delete it. If there is a permission set for this employee, then you can have an override, or you can just remove access for them to do so altogether. If someone deletes or removes items from orders, Clover does generate reports for you, so you can keep track of that and maintain the security of your sales. Now, tapping on an item again, we do also have a discount option. So same rules can apply to discounts if you'd like. Again, you'll have checklists where you can pick and choose what they can and can't do. So discounts are customized and set up just like the menu. And this is the window they appear in. I just have a couple set up, but I've seen ones that take up the whole screen. Just depends on the restaurant, right? But in this case, these are manually applied. So with that being said, we do have a list of our discounts. AARP in this case, I could apply it to the item. You can also apply discounts to orders. So down at the bottom of the screen, you can tap on what are called the kebab menus or the little options here. And with these options, you do also have order discounts. So again, very optional who can use these. If I was logged in as a new employee and I don't have that access yet, a manager override would pop up and you just approve it with your fingerprint or your passcode if you're the manager on duty at that time. So yeah, discounts are really cool. They also create reports as well, just like item deletion. So you'll have a whole report on who approved discounts and so forth. And this report can be found on clover.com. So I'll try to share that when we hop over to the dashboard. And then just to reiterate, I know a few of us joined a little bit later. We do have a recording that automatically goes out around 48 hours after this webinar. So I did see that question come in, but we'll also be happy to share it directly as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the splitting of the checks, right? So now that we've gone through maybe some discounts and splitting, we do have a variation of splitting methods. So for the first splitting, let's go ahead and merge two guests together. So guest one and guest two, they want to be on the same check, but guest three would like to be separate. So right now we can see the print bill option, which would put everybody on one bill. But since guest one and two do want to be separate, I can tap on these little dots next to the seat. Either guest is fine. I tap move items, and you can select a guest bill and then tap on the guest to merge them. So it's just a really quick process as well because it selects all their ticket items. You can also individually pick stuff if you'd like. But overall, let's go ahead and select guest two. With this, we do also have different ways you can move and arrange employees. So like if someone wants to go sit at another table, I will say that you can move them to all sorts of areas. So if guest two here, I want to relocate them, I easily have the option to take this guest from table 11 and put them on 13 with another party, or move them to the bar or a non-table order. And Clover's non-table section is really awesome at giving you like a nice preview of the order just to make sure it is the right ticket. And we can also see names or even do a new order if we wanted to. Now going back into that table, I'm going to keep the guest there, but just wanted to emphasize the move guest. You can also print a check, go ahead and have the guest on their way. That works great as well. If they just want to pay out early, it won't lock the table down. So there is a print and payout option too. Now, another common restaurant scenario is going to be your splitting of items. So if they do want to share a couple of these appetizers, Clover will even split a discount for you if you've already applied it here. So you can tap on whole table. Again, you can move items. So how we merged those guests earlier, it's the same concept, just maybe a couple of the apps are going to go to guest two here. So we'll put that on their check. But then the rest of the items, they want to go ahead and share them because they all ate them. So we'll just tap on split item cost. Y'all can check off however many of these apps you'd like, and then you can select all the guests or individual guests. I'm going to do 2 guests in this case. And I forgot to show it, but let me undo that splitting. Real quick, there is a print individual bills option. So if I wanted to separate these customers, so guests 2 and 3 want their own checks, and I go to hit print individual bills. If there's appetizers, the ones I just put back, if there's appetizers, it will let me know, hey, there's still apps here. Do you want me to split these before I print the checks? So Clover will do a couple of steps in one if you tap this button, but you haven't split the apps yet. So that's a really fast way to do an even split for a party with all the apps they shared if everybody just wants to pay for a portion. So it will do it amongst all the seats that have items. Now with this, let's go ahead and split all the apps. Guests 2 and 3, they each want half an order of those appetizers. So pretty easy and quick to do. Of course, we're taking our time explaining it, but the process is going to be extremely quick, especially if you watched a waiter do it. Now from here, there's going to be a couple different things you can do with your tickets for closing out the check. The most standard practice is, okay, they gave me their card after I dropped the bill. So I'll go back to my station, select pay, and then I'm going to swipe, insert, or take cash if that gave me cash instead of card. And then Clover will take you through like a change screen, or if it's card, it will print the receipt for them to tip and sign on. And then you can just drop it back off at the table, and tips are put in at the usually at the end of the shift, or an employee can tap on the home button. Clover does come with a tips app, so employees can see all of their tips on one screen and tables they took. If you're logged in as an admin, you should be able to see everybody's, but employees can tap on unentered tips and it would show the orders they still need to close out as far as the tip goes. So in this case, I don't know if I can key in any today, but with this, if this was a card and a valid tip option, I would just punch it in. There would be a keypad here and it would let me know if like the percentage was too high. But it's a pretty easy process the employees can do at any point of their shift. They don't have to wait till the end of the night. So it is there just for them to punch in the paper ones. Now, the benefits of table side payment, I am going to take us to our slides for just a second and just talk about the Clover Flex real quick. Because a lot of that stuff I just described, we can see how, putting in your tips at the end of the night could keep an employee on the clock a little longer. Taking the bill from the table to the station, that might take a little bit of time as well. Also, you kind of have to keep checking up on them, which takes more time to see if they even put the card in. So with the handhelds, we do have a lot of restaurants using these, and they love to pair them with the station. So Clover Flexes do allow you to do the ordering and a lot of the stuff we just talked about during this demo. So with the handheld, you are saving a lot of time, and those seconds can really add up at the restaurant. So you can pull up their payment on the screen whenever they're ready to check out. You don't have to write down the order or memorize it anymore if you just want to ring it up on here and fire it to the kitchen. It should work with your kitchen printers the same way the station does. And if you start an order on one device, you can still continue it on another. So if someone is on a station and you need to take an order or edit someone's ticket, this device should have the same order information that you started under one table. So with it, it's going to be just a really neat interactive experience where your waiters are still table side, but they do have that device to make things more efficient. And there's different layers of mobility to the Clover Flex. If we're taking it on delivery or maybe on a curbside order outside, it does have a printer built into it so they can still get a paper receipt without you running back inside. And contactless pay is also going to be on here, which can now be accepted at the table as well. So just little things like that that do make a big impact during that dining flow. So some restaurants might use a lot of these, like one per server, and then there might be some restaurants that just get like one to start with to see if they like it. But we've always heard really positive things about the Flex, and I've used a few of them out and about, and it really does speed up the time that you would have to wait on your bill because they just bring it to the table and let you tip and sign and close out there. And again, the server doesn't have to input all their paper tips now because they were done digitally. So that is the Clover Flex unit. There's a lot of really neat features in it outside of dining as well, like all the apps that we saw on the home screen as well. And then another cool thing that the Clover Dining does include, this isn't something you have to add on. We include the QR codes on the system already, so you can choose to have these at your tables. These QR codes can be printed from each table. So if I set up table 11 for the first time, I can tap on the table in the little option window that shows the overflow, and there should be a print QR code option. So if you have a busy staff, or even if we're shorthanded, employees can print these and share them upon request. Some restaurants do just like to have them at the tables, but if you want to keep it like employee specific, you can have the employees like print them out when they get there and share them with the table and put them there for the night. And that's that servers section and QR codes. So those work great for ordering from the table. So as the Flex lets the waiter input the details, this is more of the guest scanning the code, seeing your menu on their screen, and putting in their order to the kitchen. So it does give like a full hands-on experience from their phone, from the start of the order to the end of the order. Now, the waiter can still assist with the order. So if a guest does initiate an order to the kitchen from their phone, the server can still tap on that table. It should turn orange and change the color status. So if we go back to my Clover system here and we tap on Legend, we can see that contactless dining, if it's active, it's going to turn on that color status. And then if I got an order, I'd get a ping and an orange table. And then I could click on it and see what items that person ordered. And then right now, Clover contactless orders like those, they are segmented in the whole table spot. So they do come in all under whole table. So the guest can pay from their phone if they want to pay the whole tab. But if the guest want to be split, then the waiter will assist with the splitting. We do have a roadmap feature to change that in the future. But I did just want to share that some splitting will still have to be done by the waiter if they do use that and want to pay separate. But as far as ordering, one person can do it from their phone and initiate that whole process. So the table running time is really minimized. And also, if we're shorthanded, I feel like these can really help out because the guest doesn't have to wait for a server who might be in the weeds with a lot of other tables if they're the only one on. Now, with these QR codes, we do also have just a payment QR code, so scan to pay. So, not to get too confusing, we do offer a lot of different variations of these, but there is one that can just be on the bill. So whenever I bring you your check and drop it at the table, when you open up the check presenter, there will be a little QR code here that says scan this to pay out your check. So if I were to split the checks, it would have a QR code for each person that matches their bill. So with that being said, scan to pay, it's very simple. I bring you your check, there's a payment QR code at the bottom. All you have to do is scan it with your smartphone camera and you can tip and close out using your Apple Pay wallet. And again, we are expanding those options to Google Pay and credit card. So that's something you'll probably see in the near future. As far as the ordering one, though, I'm pretty sure it does the credit, Apple, and Google. But this is just the quick pay option for wallets with Apple. All right, so let's go back to the Clover device. And in the meantime, I did see that there is a question that came in. So, kind of talking about as far as one of the questions that was kind of like a script or things in the field. So not necessarily a script, but we do have resources that I can share with you. So I did take your email as well, just to, Mr. Tyree, I know you sent in that question. So we can talk a little bit more about that maybe offline. And then I saw a question come in. It says scan to pay. How do we know if the payment's been done? That's an awesome question. So pretty much those statuses and alerts that I just showed in the legend, the paid status will signal the server. So they know it's been paid. Also, your device auto captures that information. So a manager could also look at this or see it in the log. So yeah, there's an alert and a paid option on here. So pretty cool stuff. That contactless experience is becoming a little more popular these days. All right, so let's go ahead and pay out this order and maybe just talk a little bit more about some of the last things that we were going to cover today. So once we are ready to pay out our bill, we do have a lot of payment options that are offered through Clover. So payment methods, your cards that have the chips on them, or what we would say EMV contact. So when you collect a card from the table, your Clover station will have the insert option on it and also a swipe reader on the right side. If you're using the handheld Flex, you can insert it at the bottom or swipe it to take it at the table. If you do cash, it will show you change on the following screen. If you're a cashless business, these buttons can actually be deactivated under your setup and payment tenders area. Now down at the bottom here, we do have some other options. So we do have some features like check acceptance for any restaurants that do get a lot of checks. We have check apps that can scan them and finalize them for you. But we also can just set up a button that says check and you can deposit it with your cash. Just depends on the frequency of those. I know they're a little more rare these days from the feedback I've gotten from some of our restaurants, but that's an option that I have on my demo one here. And we do offer it, of course. The other two here are kind of customer engagement elements. So one of them is a select customer view. This would show me if a guest has checked in for their rewards points. So there's 3 different ways guests can check in for rewards, and I am going to save this for the next part. So I just wanted to note that that button is here, and we'll come back to that topic in just a second. And then lastly, gift cards. So if you want to sell gift cards for your restaurant, you can order plastic ones from your Clover web dashboard. And with that, you can order bundles of plastic ones and customize them with your designs. And they're pretty much the more you order, the less they are as far as the bundles go. So with the plastic ones, we do have those, and we have digital ones. So let's go ahead and tap on our home screen. If I wanted to sell a gift card, Clover has a gift cards app here on the home page. So in here, you just put in how many gift cards they want to buy. You'll select the amount that's loaded onto each gift card. Once you select next, it will have them pay for the gift cards if they want to pay cash or card, however. And then from there, you just swipe them to load the balance on each one. You can also scan it or key it in as well. So there's a couple ways to input and load a gift card. If you are redeeming this gift card, then in the register where we were just at, you simply tap gift card and you swipe, scan, or key it in. Now, the digital methods, these are going to be housed under their smartphones usually. So you can text and email these. That's absolutely no problem. Just if they have a digital gift card, they're probably going to pull it up on their phone. So with this, if you're at the table, you can scan that QR code off of their phone and it will apply the balance to the order. Gift cards can also allow tips as well, so they can tip on the gift card. Each gift card does generate a paper QR code and key in code as well, so they always have that copy too. And then store credits, we have a couple variations. We can do charitable donations and gift cards to generate a kind of a complimentary style reporting. So that way it keeps things consistent on your reporting and taxes. We do have a refund credit where if you're refunding a customer from the transactions app or orders, you can select refund on a gift card and you could text or email them that balance. And instead of like having them drive down to get cash or waiting for the card balance to hit their card in a few days, it will go ahead and be instant for this method. And also reloading. So you might see managers sometimes get like benefits, like loaded up cards, or employees might get a certain value. You can keep using the same gift card. So if you want to offer your employees like a set amount of food each month that they can use as far as their card goes here, you can load that up each month, and same with customers, right? Or even encourage them to reuse that gift card. I saw a question on how does Clover handle coupons. So coupons, there are a variety of ways you can handle coupons. So one of those methods kind of brings us to our next point anyway. So that was a really great question, Danny. Pretty much we have rewards and promos. Now, with promos, these are coupons or just general message announcements. So, if you wanted to text out a coupon or you wanted to send an email blast, you can set up a promo coupon. This is on the device here, but I'm actually going to take us to clover.com. My demo account set up just in more of like a test format. So I have to go through a couple extra steps. But if you wanted to send out a coupon at the restaurant to bring customers in for the day or for the next week or however long you want to run that special, that can be done from either your device or your dashboard. So let's see if I can get my promos to load up for us during this meeting. If not, I have a lot of experience just kind of talking through it. So hopefully we can find one of my demo accounts here that will let me screen share it with you. All right, so let's see. This will be my last attempt on it, but pretty much I'm trying to load it on my dashboard. It looks like it's not going to load up, but I will say that if you are on this page and you are a Clover user, you're actually going to have a button on the screen that says Announce New Promo. And then from here, it's going to pop up with a screen that will let you set up different variations of a coupon. So this one here says 10% off these items. It let me put in rules and restrictions. And then it shows me a calendars where I can start the promo and where I can end it. So you can actually schedule these in advance if you wanted to. Let's say I want my promo to start on Monday, the 22nd of August. So I'd be able to select that day and then select the end date. And then it should launch that promo at the beginning of that day on the 22nd of August. And then it would expire on the day I have set as well. And also when promos end, you should get summaries. So if customers use these, they're interactive. So I could tap on it and see a list of customers if they use them from like their phone, email. You can even publish marketing to your social media pages. So with all of that, it's really, really cool just kind of how the marketing elements and promos work together. Now, the other tool that we have is called rewards. So with this, it's so strange. This was working earlier. I'm like thinking about it really hard. So with that, we have a loyalty program too, in kind of the same way as the promos. These are more point focused though. So instead of scheduling it to start and expire like a coupon, you can actually just send out rewards programs. You can have them run for as long as you want, though, instead of having that expiration date, because these are more customer driven. So if I visit your store, maybe 10 times, I'll earn a regular title and I can get this badge in my account. And also, after I buy so many drafts, you're going to offer me a free 12-ounce draft of my choice. So it's like a digital punch card. Do we also have points as well? So if you just wanted to do it based off spending, Clover does every dollar equals 1 point for the customer. So you can set how many points they need to earn to get a coupon, and you can pretty much build these out to the type of promo solution you want to use. Clover does include the promos at no addition or the rewards at no additional cost. And then your promos app, the promos app should be free itself, but the difference between the promos app, as far as like any price, is it has like a 10 cents per customer alert. So if I send a promo out and it's going to 10 of my customers, it would be $1 for that promo. So normally we don't talk about pricing because we're very limited over here on what access we have. But the promos are like a universal Clover feature. So pretty much just keeping that in mind, promos are good to start off with the free option. But if you have more customers, then 10 cents would be worth. So if I instead had maybe 10,000 customers and it's going to be $100 to send out a promo instead of $1, Clover has a monthly plan for this where you can send unlimited promos with no 10 cents charge. So it would just be a flat rate per month. And that's just for the promos using the text and emails. Facebook marketing and social media marketing with Clover's promos should be no extra cost either. So you can still use it there without the 10 cents charge. And then rewards, that's free. So the customers have an app option on their phone. They can sign up with their text or email at your restaurant. And you can even print a code on their receipts. So if I go back to the device, just to talk about this other side of like our engagement, like our promo coupons or our rewards program, how it works, there are 3 ways for customers to earn rewards. So if I'm a regular visitor, my receipt can have this code at the bottom. So every time I visit you, I just text this code at the end of my dining. It'll say, here's your new balance. If I get enough points for an offer, it'll show me, here's a QR code for your next visit. So just show this to the waiter, they'll scan it, and it'll apply to the items or to the order, depending on what type of coupon it is. Also, waiters can help apply these. So if the guest, doesn't know really how to pull it up, there's ways you can search customers in Clover or select them and apply their offers in the register. We do have a free app for guests as well. This app will show your online menu, and it will also show the loyalty program. They also get your promotions here as well. So the app does communicate with all of our rewards and engagement apps. So they'll see points, they'll see any coupons. And after they pay for their order, because their card is usually connected to this in some way, after they pay for their order, it alerts them to leave you feedback too. And Clover has a free private feedback app that's part of this. So that app is really cool at just digitizing everything without them having to do anything manually. So it's got like location check-in, and I always encourage, if y'all have the time, to download the app and see what kind of programs are being used locally. You can search Clover in your app market, iOS or Google Play. It's a free app to download, and I think you log into it one time, and then it'll show you, once you turn your location on, the locals that are nearby, who's using Clover, how far away they are, and you'll see this thing has a huge range. I know when I use it, I see restaurants that are what I would feel pretty far away from my house, but it shows me, exactly what offers they have. And then when I get close enough in the parking lot, I can check in from there or check in when I walk in. Clover captures the customer's info by 2 ways. So that was a question that just came in for like the small segue there. So if I pay for an order with my card, Clover puts in a name from that card. So there's a customer's profile builder here. If I insert my card says, Sarah McCurley on it, right? So inserting that into your device or swiping it, you now have Sarah McCurley on your device. As far as the phone number or email, they do provide those at one point. They have to give them to you at least. So this is usually done via a digital email receipt or a digital text receipt. So those are the most fluid ways I would say we would do it. If they download the Clover app, which Clover does have marketing material for these types of things, so you can have them like at the table or in the window. They can also sign up from like social media at home or download the app or order online. They can also sign up if they place an online order. So I know that was a lot of info, but there's a lot of ways you can get a customer data in your system. So showing this customer here, they've probably gotten a receipt of this kind. I've been using this test customer for a little bit now, but on one of my older systems, I had a customer that I used for like 3 or 4 years on every single demo. So pretty much, 5 demos a day, orders on every single demo, and it just had so much information. I could keep scrolling and loading that customer. So it's really cool. It keeps all of the history, their spending over time. And rewards will show up here, like if they've left you feedback or have points. There's a lot of cool features that will show up on a active account instead of this demo account here. So it'll be a little more colorful than this. Also, birthday bonuses is part of rewards. So if you want automatic birthday coupons to go out, they can put their birthday in the app, or if they gave it to you on a visit. So I've known Smiles here for long enough that she told me her birthday. So let's tap on edit profile. And I have birthday bonuses set up, but I know Smiles doesn't have her set up. So I asked, what's your birthday? I'm going to go put that in my Clover. And once you save this, they can now qualify for that birthday coupon, right? And then the last one is marketing permissions. So marketing permissions is part of promos. If I do get a guest that they do want to hear from us and get coupons, this is just a permission feature. So Clover lets you gather the emails and phone numbers, but the guest does have to opt into that at least once. There's no third parties we're sharing this with, and no neighbors that are giving us their customers' info. So guests do have to opt in, which I find is a benefit on Clover more than anything, because I don't feel like they're sharing my information when I go to a Clover business. So pretty much they have a subscribe or unsubscribe prompt. They can say yes or no. This is the same from the receipts and from the back office. And online, they should have an option to opt in as well when they place an order. And so the last things, pretty much, just online ordering does take a lot to talk about, but I did want to give maybe a quick overview of it if that's okay. So going to my Clover web dashboard, just with the remainder of our time, Clover's web dashboard, which I've talked about it a little bit, and I brought y'all here for the promo stuff that sadly I couldn't get to load, but I will say that you easily have different tabs here to edit, just like those apps on the devices. So for example, if you want to look at your reports and sales, you've got all these different filters for dates, employees, time, discounts we talked about earlier. This is where you can find your whole discount breakdown and which employee applied this discount, how often they're using them, and some of the summaries of like how much money is this discount costing us here. So there's different display settings you can activate, and even seeing like what kind of orders they're frequently placed on. So I hear a lot of feedback about cash orders getting discounted a lot with coupons, and that is something that I could see. Oh wow, the employee is applying a coupon every time they get cash at the restaurant. That is a theft concern, right? So this is where you can manage those. You also have your removed items report. So as previously mentioned, anybody who deletes or edits orders, again, they have to have access, but sometimes we don't realize they have access, or maybe we trusted someone and they did end up overusing that feature. So this will show you like items by their classes and labels, especially revenue classes like bar and kitchen. If I see someone's deleting bar drinks, those are higher ticket items. That's definitely like a revenue class or deleted item concern. So here it does break down those details and also shows you who did it. And you can dive into the order to see more insights if you wanted to. And that's just scratching the surface of reports, but I wanted to mention that before I go down to the online ordering, because we did talk about it there at the beginning for a second. All right, so lastly, online ordering. I'm going to do my best to fit this big bag of features into our remaining time window. So y'all hang in there. Feel free to ask questions. I'll do my best to get them answered. So the last portion here, Clover includes online ordering services. We do have 3 native options. 2 of them are included at no additional cost. So starting with those, Clover Online Ordering and Order with Google. So these are great ways for businesses to get going with online ordering. So Clover Online Ordering allows you to take a link or even a QR code and share that with your customers. So having a link to your website is a great way for all the processing to be done through like your social media or your web platform. So pretty much, yeah, thank you for the question, Morgan. And I'll go ahead and take that email down as well. So let's go ahead and do that. I just wanted to acknowledge that before I keep going. So with the Clover online ordering, we have a website with Clover. They came to us before they had Clover, but they didn't have online ordering. They just like designed a web page and they would take call-ins, and that's about it. So let's go ahead and share that restaurant. So what we did is Clover generated the link and the checkout page, and it was just embedded in their web page builder. So pretty much any customizable web page allows for these type of embeds. So you can see they've got their socials and stuff, which that wasn't done by us, but the order now buttons were. So their website builder will let them do this part. They just need that Clover link. So if we click on this, it just opens up the checkout for that location. And if you have like delivery, curbside, or any scheduled orders, it should take them through the prompts as far as the customer. So they're not ordering right now, but normally they would be. So with that, we can see we're at the right spot here. We tap on the items, it'll preview them and let us add them to our cart. Prices and upcharges, special instructions, all of that is relevant here. And again, this is all done through the Clover side. So Clover doesn't do commissions or order fees on the scheduled orders, the curbsides, and the pickups. If you want to add a delivery service to this, then there is a DoorDash Drive service. That is the only time there would be an order fee, and that is charged by the DoorDash service, not the Clover side. So we connect to them for free, and they have an order fee per ticket. So I'll go back to the previous screen in just a second to share on the screen like what it shows their order fee is and how you can change that so your customer can pay it during checkout. So lastly, when the customer does check out, if it's like a delivery or a more detailed ticket, it will have them verify their address and make sure they're in your zones. If it's a pickup, it will just have these 4 fields here so they can come in and pick up. And then the last option for curbside, it will add one more field for them to put in their car make and model, and it will let them know where to park. So you can put in that message if you have a certain place they need to pick up. Of course, they pay and tip online, so that's just kind of a given. You can turn off tips if you don't want them to do those online. Card numbers can autofill. I know GPay and Apple Pay should be compatible with this as well. So that is Clover attached to a website. You can also just text or share the link out. That's no problem. If you add DoorDash Drive to that checkout, DoorDash will supply their employees and drivers for you. So you don't have to worry about having extra staff scheduled. I've heard this can actually help a lot with labor cost. DoorDash just does a flat order fee, and customers can still tip though. And then with this order fee, if you do want to change that, you're going to go to your Manage tab. You're going to go to Operational Information. And again, my demo account, I don't know if it's showing the option I'm looking for, but you'll have one of these that says delivery. So all you have to do is tap on the edit pencil and you can set the delivery fee you want the customer to pay. You can also set your minimums on orders. So if I place a delivery order, it has to be like $30 or more, for example. Or if I spend $100, you can have it auto remove the delivery fee. So there are some really helpful tools and tricks in there to hopefully help offset some of those DoorDash fees that they charge. The other option here is Google. So Google has SEO, just something that makes Google really a powerhouse when it comes to online ordering. So as an example of this, and I have a strong feeling we've all might have done this maybe once in our life. Hopefully a fair assumption on my part. I know I do it all the time. And it is searching coffee near me or bubble tea near me in Google from my phone or from my computer. So what's crazy is this one wasn't here on an earlier demo, so they just must have added themselves to a Google business page, right? But pretty much these are the websites and businesses that are close to me. So I'm a new customer. I had no idea that you were there, but you're selling the items that I'm craving right now. So this really gives you a good opportunity to find new business. Just something that can't be matched. So Clover does work with Google for the pickups, the scheduled orders, and no additional cost there either. Google actually connects to your pickup website through Clover, and customers can still find your website, but it's going to add this order pickup. So I found a bubble tea restaurant I want to order from. When I click on it, I'm going to see this button, and I'm just going to place my order now from here. So I don't have to go to the Clover website. I don't need you to text me a link or go to Facebook. I can just do it from here, pay with my Google Wallet or online, and I can still see your images and descriptions just like the Clover system. And there's cool device syncing features, like if you run out of a product at the store, or maybe I want to turn off this item and not sell it online right now, you can have that set up on your Clover devices too. Of course, there's a lot that goes into that on the menu building side. So with that, each item, you just pick if it's auto deactivating, or if you run out, you just go in and turn it off. But overall, it's going to sync your websites like your Google and Clover side. So checkout, this goes straight to the restaurant, and orders can pop up in your orders app. So just back on the Clover system, any online ordering that you have connected communicates with the Clover system. So this shouldn't require hardware from Google or Clover. It's just all integrated. If you add third-party delivery, these should be integrated as well. So that's our last topic of online, is like Grubhub and some of our providers that they should be available now, but if you don't see them, they might be rolling out in batches. But pretty much Grubhub, DoorDash, and Uber Eats. So Clover now has these connections with these partners. If you already have accounts with them, a lot of these just state that things should stay the same price wise on their side. You just hit get started and you log in, or if you sign up through us, some of them have benefits. For example, Grubhub has a 2-month free trial before you sign up to get started if you sign up through Clover. So with these, a lot of them, they work out their own pricing structure, but Clover does not add any additional fees to it. So if I get an order from one of their apps, so if I go into DoorDash and I place an order for your restaurant, it's going to send to your Clover in your kitchen if you have it connected this way. So these are direct integrations. Really great option just if you do have a demand for these in your area. We work with the 3 most popular ones currently. And you can also use apps from our app market to connect alternatives. We won't be getting much into that today, but I did just want to mention that there are order aggregators in Clover's app market. So let's go ahead and go to more tools. With more tools, this is where you can find different websites and app partners. And if I go back to online ordering, we also have a website branding and building option. So a lot of restaurants, the brand is really, really important, right? So if we are looking to go through just a process where we've got a specialist and we're taking a lot of care with this website build. So step by step, we're going to be getting our website out. We're going to have our story. We're going to have exactly the energy and vibe that we want to represent online that matches our store. So Bento Box does a great job there. It also supplements things like analytics, what kind of customers are coming in, how many clicks you're getting on your website, and it also uses the SEO benefits like Google does as well. So with that, I've got an example of a website that's used through Bento Box. You can see that they're just awesome at what they do, but it is one of our acquired partners. You can still have your deliveries and your different order methods through here. But instead of having all the separate ones, just kind of the same concept, but housed under one umbrella. And again, they do offer a lot of other features on here, like you could add things like reservations, social events, different menus, gift cards, rewards, and a lot of this can be branded to more of your name and less of Clover's. So this is a really awesome way to look at it. There's going to be a lot of really cool features on here, and Bento Box keeps you with a what they call your Bento Buddy. So you actually have a dedicated online ordering partner throughout the process of using them. So they're really, really great to kind of go with. I always say if you're starting with Clover, definitely do a demo with them if you'll have a little bit of extra time, because they'll really highlight the benefits. And I know it's offered at a really fair cost. Just after meeting with them, they try to keep it affordable for all business owners. So they have different plan options. So the last thing was the app market. So we'll go ahead and hop back over to the deck because this is a pretty easy area to describe. Clover was designed for developers, so apps are available in our app market. We've got over 400 app partners in here. Some of them are going to be very popular, like the ones we see on the screen here. So QuickBooks, a lot of business owners are very familiar with QuickBooks, and we do have an app that can connect Clover's reporting to QuickBooks bookkeeping and just transferring those sales and analytics to your accounting program. So they have an app with us. There's marketing apps, payroll apps. There are recipe keepers, pantry managers. So with Clover, you're going to get a lot of the cool features that we demoed today. But if there's something you want to enhance, or if you grow over time and you need something done a little bit different than just the default Clover options, these apps can always be added without you having to buy a whole new software or system. It's just a really great way to expand and adapt. So you can use your same devices. These apps are a la carte, and very rarely are they contract based either. So a lot of them, if you install them and you find one you like better or it's more affordable and does the same thing, there's often options to just uninstall and install the other one, right? So kind of like a smartphone, I'd say. I've tried all sorts of different apps on my phone and I play with them. Some of them I like and I buy, some of them I uninstall, or I'm like, I probably wouldn't pay for this and uninstall it. So those apps can go that way, but keeping in mind they're very business focused and they're approved by our developers. So of course they're going to be safe to use on your Clover. All right, last thing is support and resources. So there is a general support number. This is just like things for training, account assistance, troubleshooting. They should be 24/7 and a complimentary service with your Clover. So there is a number provided there. Clover pre-sale support as well. And then if you do need an email or information sent over, there is a support at Clover email and there's a website. So just some tools. I'm sure if you search Clover point of sale, you can find a lot of these resources on our website as well. But I always try to dedicate a slide to it real quick. And for everybody who did stay on the whole time, I really appreciate y'all hanging out. Lots of good questions today, and hopefully I did my best to get those answered for y'all. We'll have that recording out. It should come out around 48 hours after this webinar has been completed. And just again, thank you so much for hopping on. When new features do come out, we'll do our best to walk through them and give y'all those updates. So I'm just keeping an eye on these maybe every couple weeks. Come say hello, see if we talk about something new. Even though we will always kind of walk through the dining app for new visitors to make sure they can learn it, we would also love for repeat visitors to come in and see if anything else has changed. So thank you so much. Feel free to invite your merchants and other business owners. We would love to have them. Or if you have sales partners and colleagues and you feel like this would be helpful, they are encouraged to join us just to get that Clover education. So thank you. Y'all have a great rest of your day and have a safe weekend.